everyone, today I'm going to be making my big salad that I have once or twice a week. It's something that I really look forward to having because it's just a big meal. There's a lot of volume to it, and this is one that I have when I do one meal a day, or my volume eating, you call it whatever you like. It's just a big massive salad. So I'm going to start off by using a whole bag of iceberg lettuce. Now I like it not shredded in a salad, just makes it a little bit less fiddly. So I've got a whole bag of iceberg lettuce, and then I've got a whole, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've got and then chop it up and then put it in there so that you're not watching me cut everything up. So I've got a whole cucumber, I've got a whole pepper, a whole bell pepper, I mean almost a whole, this just had a little bruise on so I cut that out. And then I've got a couple of slices of red onion, a whole carrot, a small floret of cauliflower, a couple of small florets of broccoli, and also the stem. What I've done is I've just cut off all the kind of outer bit because it's quite tough. So I'm going to chop all those up and then I'll come right back to you. I'll just say now before I do it, my cucumber, I just cut it in half, so in half and then half again, and I just cut those into little slices like that. So just quite nice bite-sized chunks, but you can cut it however you like. If you've got a vegetable chopper and you like to have things a bit more cubed, then you do that, that's fine. You know, you could use like I do with a carrot. I just do it into ribbons. You can do that with a cucumber, but I don't like when all the liquid comes out of certain things. You know, like cucumbers and carrots, so which is why I don't grate that. So you can just do it however you like. You can leave things out. You can add stuff. It's totally fine. Okay, so I've cut all those up. I cut the stem of the broccoli up into little chunks, and then the florets, again, I've just done those into chunks. I sliced into them and then I just chopped into them a bit more. You can grate them as well if you like. I have so little that it just seemed a bit of a faff to get my grater out and all that kind of stuff, and I can just chop it. So there's the onion in there as well. So I'll just do this. Now I know that my videos are kind of, some are one way, some are filming another way. I always record it and think that I've got it figured out, and it's pointing the right way, but then when I watch it back it's kind of long ways or it's flipped over this way. So I'm sorry it's not very consistent. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. I think I might have figured it out, so fingers crossed. So next up, what I'm going to do is add, now in this I've got 200 grams of Sainsbury's frozen butternut squash, 120 grams of chickpeas and 40 grams of sweet corn. What I did was I roasted the butternut squash and the chickpeas in some seasonings yesterday. And then just before it was finished, I put in the sweet corn because I didn't want them to burn. And I put those in the fridge overnight so that they're nice and cold, ready to go in this salad. And then I've got 20 grams of vegan Cathedral City extra mature. I grate this really fine so that it goes quite far in there. You know, it seems to be that it's in every bit that you take. So 20 grams of that. And then in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh this when it comes out to make sure that I have been putting it in correctly in my Fitness Pal. So my scales are here. So I'm just going to zero that out. Now I'm just going to shake it off a little bit actually to loosen them. So this is Sainsbury's Giant Couscous. However you say it, I don't know. So Sainsbury's Giant Couscous, and I did 35 grams of its dry weight, And then I boiled it on the hob for about 6 or 7 minutes. So I'm just going to weigh that and see what that came out like, because on my Fitness Pal I've got it as 80 grams made up. So I'm just going to double check. So 81, yeah, we're okay with that. We'll allow it, it's fine. So 81 grams of that. And you can use any vegetables that you like. I know at the minute, Aldi, I think, have got offers on like spring onions and celery, all that kind of thing. I was going to put some celery in it, but I thought I'd probably got enough actually. And I also was going to put some slivered almonds in, but I've not got the calories for it today, so I'm going to leave those out. And then I'm going to move on to my my dressing now. So what I've got now is 20 grams of this Hellmann's plant-based mayonnaise. Like I've said before, I do wish they'd do this in a low calorie or low fat one. It's quite high. Yeah, quite high. So I would prefer it to be low fat, but what can you do? Right, so that's 20 grams. Almost. 20 grams. And then I'm going to top it up with 80 grams of this coconut collab yogurt. So zero that off so that I know for definite I've got 80 grams. So 80 grams. Oh, no, 89. I'm going to call that 90, and then I'll just remember to amend that in my diary. So, and then I'm going to be using the rest of that yogurt for something else. I don't know whether to do a chia pudding or an overnight oats. I'm not sure yet. So this is what I'm going to be using next. So you don't have to have all these. You can season it however you like. I'm going to use some cumin, garam masala. It's quite a similar mayo that I use in Coronation chickpea, so, but I like it, so it's fine. A little bit of turmeric, some black pepper, paprika, some garlic granules, some Italian herbs, and I'm not going to put salt in this because I like to put salt on at the end on top of my avocado and that kind of thing, and I don't want to go too mad with it. Now, I almost forgot my favourite element of this. Okay, I had to put them in the fridge because I rinsed them and left them out to drain, and every time I walked past them I was just eating one, and I really like them in my salad. And what they are is these cherry vine tomatoes. These were from Sainsbury's Taste the Difference. I think these were on offer as well. You don't have to get Taste the Difference. The ones from Aldi, I can't remember what they're called, but they are beautiful. They're really, really nice. They're lovely and sweet and juicy. They're just lovely. So you don't have to use branded things, you know, it's fine. You know, you can add and take things away as you like, it's fine. So I'm going to give this a stir now. Actually, right, I'm going to... Where have I put my chopping board? I'm probably looking right at it. Right, I'm going to come right back. Okay, so I chopped those up. I'd put my chopping board in the dishwasher, so I just cut them in half on a saucer. I'm going to put those in there. And my favourite thing is when you get a tomato and it's got a nice bit of cheese on it. It's just lovely, so nice. So I'm going to stir this dressing up now. And like I said, I look forward to this pretty much from the minute I finish it. So I'll be thinking about next week's today after I finish this. But it's just so nice. It really, really is. I think the salad, and I really do like the Cathedral City plant-based extra mature. and tomato in a cob or a sandwich. I love it. It's probably my second favourite. It changes all the time. You know, sometimes I'll be kind of just wanting a peanut butter and banana wholemeal cob, something like that. So it can change quite a lot what is my favourite, but at the minute I just love these. So I'm going to put that on there. That's the dressing. I'm going to put that on there and then I'll come back to you, because I don't think many people would appreciate the noises that go along with stirring in dressings and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to do that now and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm just going to weigh out my avocado, just so I know how much I've got, and to put it in my diary. As I mentioned before, we have an avocado tax in this house where the dogs do like to have a nice little bit when they hear me making it. So yeah, they will get some of this. So 47, I think I've put in 100 grams on my diary, so we will see what's what. So a little bit more. If I've said I'm having 100 grams, then I'm having 100 grams. Unless I go over, which it's fine, I'll go over. Okay, right, so that's 100 grams in there. And then I will just put that on there. Finish it off with just a little bit of this pink Himalayan salt. And yeah, that'll be really nice. I can't wait to eat that. If you think that it's a big portion, which, you know, it is, like I've said before, and you don't think you're going to eat it all in one go, then maybe dish it out into a smaller bowl and cover it up and put it in the fridge, rather than, you know, kind of like eating it, find yourself full and either throwing it away or putting it into the fridge, because then you've put your bacteria from, you know, from your mouth and all that kind of thing into the bowl, and it can just, you know, it might make you not very well. So maybe just portion it out into a smaller bowl and just see how you get on. But yeah, I love it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think. And if there's anything that you would do differently, as in things that you'd add or take away. Obviously the chickpeas in there are one of my sources of protein in this. I've not used a meat substitute today, as you can see. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching. Bye then, take care. Thank you.